What's up, everybody? Renfail here. Hopefully you're doing well. We're going to dive in today and talk about the new player's perspective on what do you do as a new player? Like, what's in this game? What are all the things you can do in No Man's Sky? Because I know that, I've got less than 50 hours in the game. Like, we're right at, almost 43 hours with my primary save here. And I'm going to jump in. We're going to talk about like all the things that the game has told me to do versus, all this stuff that the community has told me how to do. Because there's a mix match of all these different things as a new player that might feel overwhelming. I still feel overwhelmed from time to time, but thankfully the community has been really helpful. Some of the stuff people want me to focus on doesn't apply to my playthrough, but it's great to have that perspective. And for different players, that's probably going to be an area they might decide to lean into. I'm going to show you what I've leaned into, what I've learned, and hopefully I can guide you on your new player journey as well in No Man's Sky if you're coming in after the Worlds Update Part 1. So, I don't think I'll do anything super spoily in this video, so you should be okay for storyline, but the game does start you off and gives you a main storyline to follow. And part of the way that you play the game and follow the storyline is by crafting, by harvesting, and by building a base, and then by building a ship over here, and then by building this rover, and then I have a Nautilin, which is an aqua ship, an underwater ship, and they teach you how to build structures. And that's sort of the core gameplay loop is harvest, explore, and that all ties back into quests, whether they are primary quests or secondary quests. This might be somewhat of the spoiler territory. I'm going to open up my Discovery tab to show you the quest journal to show you kind of what I mean by that. So you've been warned there might be some names of quests and stuff here, but we go into my log and we see I have primary missions listed above, and then I have all these secondary missions. And as a general rule, the primary missions are storyline missions that you start at the very beginning of the game and they guide you through. And then there are secondary missions that you'll find along the way which relate to things like, oh, here's a new planet that you just discovered. Go find all the creatures, all the wildlife, and all the plants and minerals or whatever on that planet. Then you get into like learning the various deeper mechanics of the game beyond just setting up your first storage box, your first refiner, your first base, and everything else. There's teaching you how to do industrial harvesting. Then there's something that I've barely even tapped into. I haven't really done the quest lines yet. You can get freighters, and you can hire frigates and ships to be in your squadron, and you can send them out on missions, and they will do things for you, and they can go harvesting for you, and all this other stuff. I haven't even dove into that yet. There's this combat, which had a little bit to do, if I remember correctly, with some combat, which I quickly learned I'm not very good at in this game because it doesn't have an aim assist, and I suck at aiming on the console. So I haven't really. That's one area of the game where it does exist, and your multi-tool has like different attachments or modules, you can call them, as they're called here, and those can change it to be like a shotgun, a pistol, a rifle, sniper rifle, whatever. But I'm not very good at the combat in this game. There's also space combat, and I've barely scratched the surface on that as well. I've gone up against some normal little ships, and then there was also like a Dreadnought one mission where I had to like get underneath its shields to be able to do stuff to it. This is a little bit of strategy, some of the combat in space. There's obviously lots of ship flying to do, and because exploration is a core component of this game. I'm just kind of walking you through some of the quests here. There's planetary settlement management that you can go do. Obviously weapons research and everything else. So these are all these different activities you'll find. And there's more beyond this. There's the expeditions that happen, which those are like seasonal events that last a few weeks and happen periodically, where you can get special ships and things. There's obviously the base building component here. There's so much to do that it will seem overwhelming, especially when you look at the fact that there's like 27 expansions that have happened, DLCs, updates, as you will. There's animal husbandry. There's so many things to do in this game. So You get to choose as you go along. Do you do any of the quests or do you just ignore the quests? Because you could totally ignore the quests and just go out and explore the galaxy. Because this is where we get into how big this game is and how everything you do. There is definitely a gameplay and storyline loop here for those of you who, like me, really like the RPG aspect of games, the storylines of games, the linear nature of point A to point B. But it does require a ton of harvesting and crafting to be able to progress through those storylines, because that is the gameplay loop here. So you have to kind of like harvesting and crafting to be able to do that, because you're going to need to build things like your ship and a hyperdrive, better hyperdrives for your ship, and you're going to need to upgrade things along the way. So it's worth noting. So the storyline is where I focused most of my energy in the early days of gameplay. And then once I got beyond the main storyline, I started delving into the secondary missions for a little bit. And then my last probably 10, 15 hours of the game, I've been obsessed with base building. Not here, somewhere else. We're going to talk about why I've sort of started to focus on that as well, even though I've traditionally not done a lot of base building in other games. By the way, you can do first person or third person in this game. I like first person for general exploration, but third person is great for like screenshots and doing things in a more cinematic fashion if you want to be able to see your character, because you can totally customize your character. You can customize the race of your character. So there's a cosmetic aspect to this game. Also, by the way, your ships, there's all sorts of different ships you can gather. I have 3 different ships, which we can go up and check out later. You can have 12 ships in the game. You can have 1 freighter. You can have, there's different types of these. Like I have a rover and a nautilin, which is like an underwater thing. But you can also get exocraft. So they've got these different types of exocraft. Like that's my rover right there. There's the Nomad, the Colossus, the Pilgrim, and the Minotaur, which I don't have yet. I do have the Nautilin, but it's on the other planet, which we'll go to here in a minute. Anyway, so like the build component of this is absolutely mind-boggling. And if you go into it beyond the quest lines, you're going to start to get into collecting structures and collecting all these different bits and pieces so that you can start to build your own base, which I totally started doing. I have an ally structure we're going to take a look at in a bit. And then there's all these, storage containers. There's so much stuff to build. I made a video the other day talking about how I think the base building in this game is like some of the best I've ever seen. For me personally. I know other people have opinions on that. It's a subjective opinion. I totally get that. But for me, it really is. Because you can build land bases, water bases, and space station bases, and you can have a base. You can build the inside of your freighter out and flesh that out as a mobile base. It's mind-boggling the amount of stuff you can do. So, let's focus on the storyline that it sets you out on, and just follow that. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're going to want to start to do branching side quests and missions, because they're going to take you off. Every time we stream and every video I do, the community has always joked with me that No Man's Sky is a game about getting distracted and forgetting what you were working on because you saw something shiny off in the distance and went, ooh, I need to explore that. So generally speaking, you have storylines that you can complete, which are going to require you to go out and harvest things, to bring them back, to craft things, to then go out into space to find new planets, to explore new things, to find new resources, to find quest objectives. You have to go explore the galaxy. So to do that, you have a ship. And in this case, you have multiple ships. This is the ship that I currently have. You can have multiple ships. We're going to go up to the space station really quick so that I can show you some of my different ships and also show you the aspect of, here's my planet, so we can obviously go run around, check out this planet. There's lots to see and do. The planet is very big. But over here we can see another planetary body in the distance. If we want to go over there, we would need to break orbit. So we just pull up, go on up through here, break the atmosphere, and now we're into orbit. And now I can look over there and say, okay, I want to travel over to that planet. We're going to engage the pulse drive. It's going to take us 53 seconds to get there. Every planet you see, you can go to, and you can take off and land from. I'm going to ignore that. There's also this galaxy map. We're in this system. There are many, many systems. You'll see them represented by names on the map. Let's go to Free Explorer. And let's pull back and we'll see. Let's go up. You know, let's go up, down, left, right. Let's go ahead and keep panning back. Here we go. Like, let's go over here and explore in this direction. Let's go over here and explore in this. These are all star systems that you can get to. Now, I've been told there is a center to this galaxy, and then you can eventually find out that there are like 256 more galaxies, I believe someone said. I could be wrong on the numbers, but it's the amount of star systems is absolutely staggering and mind-blowing. And there are many different types of planets. So if you just want to become a space explorer and just enjoy the vastness of space with the really awesome soundtrack and the really cool graphics and the vibe and cozy, chill atmosphere of No Man's Sky, you could totally do that. You can also travel to these planets to find resources, to explore, to find locations, to build new bases. We're going to pull out of the star drive here, or out of the pulse drive. We're actually going to head over here to the space station. And then wanted to show you some more ships. Talk about that for a minute. And then we'll take back out, go off and land on a planet. You'll see what that's like. We can go back to our home base planet here. You need a warp drive to get between the star systems. There's different types of warp drive. You need fuel to fuel the warp drives. Again, you have multiple different types of ships. There's haulers, there's freighters, there's starships. There's frigates, freighters. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And this is where, you know, me being somebody who's just, you know, not even 50 hours into the game yet, I'm just always sitting here going, I'm always finding something new to do. Usually a game has taught me the core gameplay loop within the first 15-20 hours, and that's all you'll know about that game. And you'll do a 50-hour gameplay session, and you'll just kind of be repeating the same thing. There is that aspect of this here, but there's also the fact that you can go all over the place, to go anywhere, and see all of these different things. So let's go over here and say, I want to pull a different craft out. Switch my docked ship. I've got 3 docked ships I can choose from. Well, yeah, this is the Radiant Pillar, which was the first ship you get. Okay. Then this was the second ship I got, which is this one. This is the one I've been using for a while now. And then I got this one yesterday. Hit the wrong button. And I buy these ships because I think they look really cool. And this one reminded me of the Battlestar Galactica Vipers. And I went, oh, I gotta buy that. And I haven't done anything to this ship yet. All I've done is I purchased it. And I've got it sitting here, and I can now deck it out. And these are the lowest tier ships. There's different tiers on ships. You can go deep into the ship collecting game. The modules for ships, you can go in here, everything in the game, like your exosuit, your starship, your multi-tool, your freighter, and all of your exocraft. Notice at the top there's these tech slots. These are technology modules that you can add to your vehicle or your multi-tool, your exocraft, to have it do different things. And then you buy around those technology mods, you get these upgrades which tie into the mods. So here, as an example, this is a defense system upgrade that ties into this defense system upgrade. You have things like your shields. If I was on my ship, I need to go over my ship to show you that. You have your pulse engine, your launch thruster, your hyperdrive, your shields. I've got photon cannons, and a deflector shield upgrade. This one doesn't have the rocket launchers or anything else because I just got this. So if I wanted to flesh this out, I would go get things like the rocket launcher and modifications for the photon lasers and the rocket launcher or the drives to make me go faster, to make my launch fuel last longer, to make my hyperdrive go farther, to install a different type of hyperdrive. And my multi-tool can become different things. Like I have it set up as a shotgun right now. You could also set it up to be a sniper rifle or a pulse rifle and things of that nature. And then you have like things like you can mine and you could, harvest with this thing. You can scan with it. There's so many different things you can do. And then your exosuit is like your personal defense suit, which has a shield on it and a life support system. You can also have, this was a must-have, which is a personal refiner, which is a portable refiner you can take around with you on your suit. You have a special glove that allows you to get super ridiculously radioactive and dangerous plants that you would otherwise not be able to harvest. Like, there's all these different things you can get. Aqua modifiers to breathe underwater. You can install water jets on your ships to be able to land on water. So there's all of these different aspects of the game, right? And in my opinion, this is where just focusing on the base storyline, I'm already 50 hours in, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I have no shortage of things to do. And the crazy thing to think about is that I haven't even started the expeditions yet, or so many of these other things. We're gonna go over here to my base. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. We're going to show you what landing on a planet looks like. We're going to go down through the atmosphere, and here we are. Get a little bit of the burn effect. Come in over here. Dude, I love the cockpit in this thing. I'm going to have to flesh this thing out. This is going to be my fighter. I've never fleshed out a fighter before. I have like an overall explorer ship, but I'm totally going to flesh this thing out as a fighter and maybe go hunt some pirates. So we're coming down here to my first base. And we can land at the landing pad. Slow it down a little bit. Coming down over the ridge here. Go ahead and take a landing here. Hop on out. We're going to run over to the portal. Scan a little bit, see the resources around. Go in here. Go to my main base, which I've been working on fleshing out, which is over here on this cool planet I found. And this is where I got completely sidetracked doing this right here, guys, which is exploring planets and finding the perfect place for me to build my first base. Now, this will not be the only base I build, but it's the first base I'm building, and I'm teaching myself base building. Regular base building, not the glitch building, just regular old base building, which is its own series here on YouTube. We do these during the live streams, but then I save those as their own thing. And I've been watching other content creators, learning more about building. My next step is going to be going to find an ice planet. I haven't even left this galaxy yet. Like, it's crazy to think about all the things that can be done here. This is my main planet, and I've got like a little down here. Like, I got a solar panel set up, and I got a little storage room down here, and in this cave we can go check out. I started building a base around the corner the other day. There's that right there. Take you over to see the base. And this gets into the whole, like, life sim aspect of this game. Because if you really want to go into this side, the game has an adjustable difficulty. And you can go in here and set things up for, like, creative mode, where you can turn off all of the resource requirements, and you could turn on different elements of more hardcore gameplay if you wanted to. So we've got, this is my first structure that I've built, which I'm building this open-faced, Because I'm building on terrain, the terrain could totally regrow inside. I totally am aware of that. I'm okay with that. This is just something for me to do for fun on my channel. And then down here, we have underwater exploration. And I've got like I don't know where I parked it. I think it's right over here. Yeah, my Nautilin. So I've got this little like, I left it off in the middle of nowhere though. So see how it says my life support system? There's a survival element to this game, but if you take it into creative mode, you could turn that aspect of the game off so you don't have to focus on it if you don't want to. But I quite enjoy having it on because it adds a certain element of realism to the game. But I have this underwater sub, which has led me to, okay, now we're going to build an underwater base. And there was a whole bunch of quests to explore the underwater region on my planet. And the thing is there are like ocean planets where you can come in here and completely build. Like, I'll just get out really quick because you can get all of these base pieces to like build, and I've just got some of them. A deep water chamber which I could set up right here, and that would allow me to start to build an underwater base. So the question isn't, I think in my mind, the question isn't what is there to do? It's the fact that there's just so much to do. I would say that, let's get away from the engine sound of that a little bit more. Probably go up because otherwise I'll drown while I'm sitting here talking. All right, we're good. Float along here. The main storyline, I think, is more than enough to keep players going. I have so many people who have come onto my videos and said that they are thousands of hours into gameplay. More than I've seen on almost any other... It might even be the most I've seen in any of the games I've played on this channel so far. Like, there are so many people who've been playing this game for so many years, whether it be doing base building, figuring out how to survive on different planets, exploring all the planets to get discoveries, collecting all the different types of ships, participating in all of the expeditions that have happened, going into animal husbandry, the cosmetic side of the game, the cosmetic ship side of the game. There's all the base building and everything else. I think that for new players, there is more to do in this game. I need to think about this for a minute before I make this statement. I think there is more to do in this game than any other older game I've come across, other than perhaps an MMORPG. And in many ways, this is an MMORPG. I don't know if it's marketed as an MMORPG, because it's mostly like a single-player game that you can play, which happens to be multiplayer, but you can also turn it off and play it in first player, like just play it in offline mode. There's also optional PvP here if you want to get into that. So there's definitely there's a lot going on here. So this could very well be qualified as an MMO perhaps. And I would need to look at their marketing to determine how they've what they've called it. You will have no shortage of things to do as a new player in this game. I have yet to touch freighters. I have yet to touch expeditions. I have yet to do planet exploration, other than just some initial. I know I've scanned more than 50 planets, but I've probably only visited 7 or 8 of them, just seeing which ones I might want to build a planet on, and the ones I've had to go to for quests or harvesting. It might be more than that, but it's certainly not dozens. Somebody was saying the other day they have a list that's like they're up to they were checking the log in the game, because you can actually see here in the, I think it's the catalog and guides section, somewhere in here, or it's discovery section. Yeah, you can see all of the different places to go, like all the places you've discovered. So I think that that's one of the coolest things here, and then you can go visit all of the other systems that you've seen. So I've visited, these are all the systems I've visited so far. So it's quite a few systems, but out of all those systems, it's like, how many of those did I actually go to actually explore? I don't know. It's a lot, but also not as many as other players because there's hundreds of things to do in this game. It's overwhelming. It's mind-boggling, which is why I think for new players, if you're looking for something to do and invest a lot of time into, and something that's got a lot of stuff that you could sink your time into, there are worse games than No Man's Sky. Just saying. Daily streams here and on Twitch at 11 a.m. Central Time, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Don't forget to hit up the socials, Discord, Patreon.